Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Friday. Welcome back for week 15 of the God Wars. Let's get right into it, and then I'll have a couple of announcements pertaining to this after I do my thing. Week 15, bombs over Myar. As Lord Xantar's lunar nation expands, so does his control over the Central Powers Alliance. It now includes all his central continental brethren and his undersea cousin Tamia, and the humans of the Whispering Woods, the halflings of the far west, and the Mothmen and Lupines of the far east. Rumors abound of the inclusion of Lord Marsala the Giant and Lord of the Gnomes, and Lord Kurz's admittance to his League of Nations in the coming cycles. Lord Xantar's lunar holdings now boast several cities, castles, and grand temples, all glimmering beneath a constant barrier of scintillating colors. Lady Tyriel's winged armies now move toward the conflict in the west, where Lord Gromdar's forces begin the siege of the gnomish master of Obsession's theater of conflict. Her giant eagle riders seem to be capable of laying waste to all who oppose her. Lady Tamia's warriors are now scouring the northwestern waters, patrolling and searching for the remnants of Lady Click-Clack Bibbledook's remaining minions after their defeat last cycle, while avoiding the war fleets of Lord Az. A minor earthquake rocked her empire this lunar cycle and sent large, almost tsunami-sized shockwaves in every direction, hampering sea travel in the area, but not stopping the larger war fleets in the area. Her repairs and restoration to her holdings seem minor save for the destruction of one of her smaller cities. Lord Aradran's mountains lit up like a blazing sun this cycle, as an enormous dome of mystic energy now covers his realm with an impenetrable shield that now protects and obscures his people and his nation. Lord Dracor's realm has doubled in land holdings as his people now move into the former holdings of Lilith's Winzed minions, and his priests and wizards take control of new places of power while leaving old temples intact. An inky blackness has discolored the oceanic realm of Lord Tempestus, obscuring his people's comings and goings save for 3 bright spots deep beneath the devourer of the deep's ever-expanding hunting grounds. Uxmal, the shade of the sinking plane, and his minions still seem content to remain aloof to the events happening outside their swampy nation, although the distinct hissing and slithering of his people can still be heard from time to time over the roaring of the larger reptiles and indigenous dinosaurs common to the area. Lady Izza's undead minions and spies have been busy throughout the southern polar region this cycle as well, as rumors of her minions digging through the rubble of the Harvester's former island nation. Lord Brutus and his minions have launched another massive war fleet this cycle, and some of his ships have been sighted near the lands of Ratham Rex, Tengfei's former holdings, and at least one fleet was sighted near the ruins of the Harvester's former kingdom. Tengfei's floating continent continues to sail northeast, almost within range of his cousin Ratham Rex nation, and seems to be preceded by several hosts of flying warriors astride unhealthy-looking winged reptiles. Acrid smoke and the hammering of anvils still fills the skies around the island nation of Ratham Rex and his hobgoblin minions this lunar cycle, as he and his people continue their expansion in the central seas. The mightiest of all explosions shook the very foundations of Myar this cycle, as the first atomic bomb was detonated over the capital of Ilstrandia's nation, leveling her capital, while barrage after barrage erased the remaining holdings of the Spider Goddess and Stealer of Secrets Empire, reducing all to molten radioactive slag. The mighty nation of Remark launched the mightiest of weapons this lunar cycle, while the world looked on in awe and horror. Never before had such terrible weapons been used on the face of Myar, as the elder gods of the before times wept a single collective solitary tear for the future of the denizens of Myar. A strange brilliant light erupted from the realm of Timo this cycle, and streaked high into the nighttime sky, while several large airships were sighted over his field of flowers and butterflies, accompanied by a host of Mothman warriors. Thunder, firestorms, and lightning rained down on the tiny northwestern island nation of Lord Mortis, spreading rubble of his castle and temples to the Lord of Death, and assassins to the 4 corners of Myar, leaving no trace of Lord Mortis or his acolytes. Lord Athanatos and the people of Ionia prepared themselves against the inevitable invasion of Lord Stark and his vampiric minions this cycle, as their armies cross themselves and seek the guidance and protection of their many high priests and wizards. Coram, master of the Whispering Woods, ordered several of his armies south to assist against Lord Gromdar's invasion of the gnomish empire of Marsala, the master of obsession this cycle, while back home his people erected another city near their southern border. In the land of prosperity, Lord Eshman's people raised another temple to their patron god, to the music and songs of their most ancient of legends, as the very world around them seems to have forgotten all things that make life worth living. One moment, folks. Lord Kurza and his children continue to colonize the mighty western island chains this lunar cycle, despite the conflict between their dwarven cousins, Lord Gromdar, and the master of obsessions, Lord Marsala. Lord Gromdar realized all too late that his lust for glory and thirst for blood was all for naught this lunar cycle, as not one of his warriors nor their entourage would survive the hell they had been sent into by their god and master, the Lord of the Golden Horde. Lord Hillfeather and his people seem to be recovering from their brush with the former Siren of the Abyss, and have since begun sending aid and resources to their friends, the gnomes, under Lord Marsala the Giant. Several armies have begun the long march south, accompanied by woodsmen of Lord Karam and wood elven archers from Lady Tariel's war host. Marsala the Giant and Lord of Obsession and his squadrons of bombers and his valiant gnomish soldiers successfully vanquished the invading armies of Lord Gromdar. They slew every last member of all four of Gromdar's armies, leaving nothing but blood and carnage on the battlefield. Amazing new aircraft that seem to be faster than anything ever seen before have begun rolling out of Lord Arcanum's factories and forges. These aircraft have begun patrolling the eastern shores and have also been spotted as far west as Lord Xantar's realm, where they briefly touched down before quickly departing again toward the realm of Lord Marsala. The newly formed territories in the northwest, now belonging to Lord Az of the Pride Lands, have begun spreading southward in an attempt to claim more islands to add to their empire, despite competition from Lord Kurza and his dwarven children. Armies of the Piper, mistress of wine, women, and song, were instrumental in the complete destruction of Ilstrandia's realm this cycle, as several hosts of Ratkin were responsible for rooting out the last remaining arachnid survivors of Lord Vermark's detonation of the first atomic bomb. The vampiric minions of Von Stark, the Lord of Blood, spent this lunar cycle glutting themselves on the blood of the remaining survivors of Lord Averon's citizens. While back home, Von Stark assembled yet another swarm of his giant bat riders, who in turn set their sights on the remaining humans of the northern polar regions, slowly turning the vast northern stretches into a realm of relentless, hungry abominations set on draining the northern pole of every single drop of human blood. Wow, folks, that was a biggie. The first atomic bomb, the bombing into the Stone Age of the, half the dwarves of the planet, jet aircraft, other airships. This is really getting intense. Unfortunately, I will be putting an end to the God Wars game probably at the end of September. Other constraints and the juggling of everything, even though some players have been eliminated, it is still a heavy toll and takes up far too much time with the wrangling of getting people's orders on time and compiling them and taking care of the combat. I'm going to end it one way or the other at the end of September. So tomorrow being Friday, there are a huge number of people who have not put in their orders from last week yet that I need to proceed, and tomorrow is the deadline for the next week, which would be week 19, I think. So check your records, folks. Get me your orders. Otherwise, you will fall behind, and I will declare the winners at the end, probably the beginning of October. Depends on exactly when it's determinable who officially won. NPCs do not count. I will be rating everything on how well the human players did and what they did and who they eliminated or how well they fared the entire ordeal. But that's what I've got for you guys today. I will be back Saturday with a sci-fi shadow chat. Not sure what the topic will be, but we'll do something Saturday, and then I'll be taking a break Sunday because of church and my Sunday game. But everybody else out there, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Despite the way the weather seems, I have a feeling it's gonna start lightening up next week or two, and we can get out of this oppressive heat and back into gaming weather. September, October, etc. Until then, folks, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys real soon. And as always, happy trails.